Welcome to another episode of Rural Strong Live presented by Concept Agritech. You know, it's time to get your full season soil and plant health plan together, and Concept Agritech can help. They bring the latest in technology using agronomy, biology, and chemistry to help increase your yield, keep pests, weeds, and disease at bay, and boost your return on investment. So be sure to check them out at conceptagritech.com. Well, our special guest tonight comes to us from the state of Oklahoma, where he's been cranking out some powerful country and Americana music. He just released a new album that's worthy of your summer playlist, and we'll talk about that more in a moment. But first, Matt Moran, welcome into Rural Strong Live.
Thanks for having me.
How you been?
Not too bad. I can't complain. I mean, I could, I guess, but I'm not gonna.
Now, we don't have enough time for that tonight because we've got a lot of ground to plow here. Want everybody who hasn't had a chance to meet you to get to know you and know a bit of the guy behind the music here, because I'm seeing your name pop up in a lot of places these days, which is really exciting. And I know you're going to be hitting the road quite a bit here this summer. We're going to talk a bit about that. Got you in the vehicle right now as we speak.
Yes, we got the merch and the guitar behind us and everything. And there's a cab back there somewhere.
That's a true musician right there, grinding it out. Well, I tell you what, before we go any further, would you open us up with a song?
Yeah, sure, I'd love to. I'm gonna set the phone down here a little bit. I can get a better view. I'm gonna start. So I've been doing this thing on all my social platforms, basically going through the album track by track, giving a little background to each song. And today's track was Rodeo Clown, so that's the one I'm going to play. Friday night, my work is done. I'm covered up in cuts and bruises. Coughing dust up from my lungs, but by now I'm used to it. I'm the star of the show, with 30 seconds 5 times a night. Make them laugh, make them crow. I take the troubles off their mind. Round me round, never wear a frown. Can't wipe the smile off my face. Never settle down. Roll from town to town, and I leave without a trace. I retire to my 6x10 with a bed and a sink. It ain't much, and it ain't new. It's a lot like me. I gotta get on the road just before the break of day. Gotta put 500 miles between me and this place. 'Cause I'm a real clown, never wear a frown. Can't wipe the smile off my face. Never settle down. Roll from town to town,
Some great stuff there.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Man, some great stuff there.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Just a taste of this album, which is pure gold from start to finish. You know, man, we mentioned you're from the great state of Oklahoma, but you've been working tirelessly to kind of carve out a niche for yourself on both sides of that old Red River.
Yes.
Getting a good following there in Texas, where they still appreciate real country music. As I like to do with a lot of the folks who come on the show that we haven't heard from before, tell us a bit about your raising there in Oklahoma and where that interest in country and Americana music came from.
Well, so I'm Oklahoma born and bred. I've lived in Southwest Oklahoma all my life, and I'd say where the interest in country music came from is, I mean, you just grow up around it, around here. It's just natural. But I have two very specific memories that just are burned into my brain. Um, and one of them is, well, gosh, around 94, 95, my dad had Dwight Yoakam This Time on cassette.
Wow.
And I think he wore that thing out. I mean, it's pretty much all we listened to that summer. And then, of course, my grandmother was possibly the world's biggest George Jones fan. Um, so it was always playing around her house, and his voice is just, it's stuck in my head. I mean, to me, he's one of the greatest country singers of all time. So that's kind of where the origins of it come from, I guess.
Well, if you can't fall in love with country music, listening to those two guys, I don't know what would make you.
Me either.
So when did you start writing music, and when did you start playing guitar?
So I started playing guitar. I was about 7 years old. So, and I just, at that point, early on, I was just infatuated with music. I just always have been. So I convinced my parents to get me a really crappy pawn shop guitar when I was 7 years old and start getting me some lessons. Um, and so I've been playing ever since then. Of course, you don't really get good till you're about 13, at least I didn't. But about 13, 14, I was taking guitar lessons. I had an instructor who asked me, have you ever written a song? I said, no, I've never written a song, because I'd learned to play, hundreds of them at that point. Um, and he said, well, before you come back next week, I want you to write a song. And of course, I was 13, 14. I didn't know how to write a song, but I just tried it, and I fell in love with it immediately. Like, it was like a new power was unlocked. I don't know how to describe it other than that.
Do you remember what that song was about?
Oh, no, I'm pretty sure it's awful though. I mean, I think we were moving at the time, like, to a different town. So it was probably some, you know, 13-year-old whiny piece of poetry.
How important was it for you to develop your own sound, something that'll help you stand out? There's scads of artists out here doing it, but to try to differentiate yourself from the others.
I feel like that's something I've been working on ever since I started writing songs. And I think everyone at the beginning of their writing career, no matter what you're writing, whether you're writing songs or novels or short stories or screenplays, you start by imitating, the things that you love. And, I probably imitated for 15 years before I started even getting close to finding my own sound. And I don't feel like I really found it until starting on this record. And I've got an acoustic album that I put out a couple years ago. Um, and I put that out as an acoustic album because, I had these songs that I've been playing for a while, and I didn't know how I wanted them to sound. So I just, picked up a tape recorder one day and started recording into it and just put it out. But I think now I've finally found what I want to sound like, I guess.
Mhm. How much did the feedback from other people who listen to you motivate you to keep pursuing this?
Oh, feedback is immensely important, because, I feel like and I think every songwriter feels like this. You spend and just like we were talking about, before we started going live, you spend years, you know, playing to nobody. So when anybody starts giving you feedback, good or bad, I'll take it.
Right.
I'll take it. I'll take it in stride. If you think I suck and you want to tell me that, that's fine. Just gives me a new perspective.
Right. I always love finding out about an artist's first gig. What do you remember about your first gig? Where was it?
Oh, my first gig actually was back when I was a teenager, like 14. I think I played whatever coffee shop was in town. Um, they knew I played, and they were, nice enough to invite me out to play on a weeknight or something. Um, they're really good people, but they knew that I liked playing and singing, and so they invited me out, and I went out and did it. And I think my parents and a couple friends showed up. But that was my first gig. But there's been about 500 since then.
How have you evolved, and what kind of cues do you take from others? Because I know you probably play with other people from time to time, and kind of watch other people. How do you feel like you've evolved as you've kind of been immersed in the craft?
I try to take a piece of every performer that I see with me in some way, because I think anybody that gets up on the stage probably has an idea that I haven't thought of yet that I can, take and make my own, or whatever it may be. Or, you know, I try to take a little piece of everything from everybody, because I'm nowhere near done learning about what I'm doing here. I still have relatively no idea.
So, of all the things you do, writing, recording, performing, or filming a video, which of those is your favorite if you do have one?
Uh, Performing,
Uh-huh.
absolutely number one. I love performing for people. It's just, I don't know, or watching a performance. There's just something magical in live performance that you can't get anywhere else.
Right. Well, I'd say what, before we go any further, I want to share another of your songs so people can kind of get an idea of what you sound like with the full band here. And I pulled the lyric video for your song Ride On. Tell me about this song.
Okay, so "Ride On" was the first full band song I ever released, and I wrote it and recorded and everything before I actually even had a band.
Uh,
um, I'm kind of when it comes to instruments, I'm a little bit of a jack of all trades, um, drums, bass, the whole nine yards. But I had written this song a couple years prior, actually, and it was one of those songs that you write and you just can't get rid of. It's just always in your head, just a little bit. Um, but the reason I wrote the song, um, I was kind of sitting down one day and I was thinking, I'd been listening to a lot of music that day, and I thought, there's a lot of country songs about the bull riders, but you never hear, or at least you don't hear a lot of country songs about the barrel racers. So I just decided that it was time to write one.
and the barrel racers of the world, thank you for that, huh?
I maybe, I don't know. I've had a couple gentlemen that have dated barrel racers that have definitely identified with the song.
That's excellent. Now, outside of that, did you have a presence in the rodeo world? I mean, how did you draw upon the
Um,
inspiration there?
that's just something you just grow up around here. I'm not a rodeo guy myself. I would get thrown off a bull in 1 second flat, but it's just something that you're always surrounded by. I mean, shoot, my neighbor, you know, had a horse in his backyard for the longest time in town. So it's kind of like just one of those things you exist around and get used to, and just kind of becomes part of life.
Well, I want to share this one because it's magnificently done here, and I know it's something that will resonate with our rodeo crowd here watching tonight. This is Ride On.
Said you're headed for Cheyenne. Said you're gonna chase that buckle, busted knees, broken knuckle. Said this time you're gonna win. So cowgirl, ride on. Cowgirl, ride on. Been chasing that rodeo for too damn long. So cowgirl, ride on. Haven't called in a week. Last thing you said to me, you're headed out to Vegas. Said you're gonna be famous, then everyone will see. So cowgirl, ride on. Cowgirl, ride on. Been chasing that rodeo for too damn long. So cowgirl, ride on. Cowgirl, ride on. Cowgirl, ride on. Been chasing that rodeo for too damn long. So cowgirl, ride on. Called last night at 2 a.m. Said you're headed for Cheyenne.
More good stuff there.
Thank you.
So the Lawton Constitution newspaper tells me that you spent this past Saturday of Memorial Day weekend 2022 playing at the 5th annual Roots Ball in Medicine Park, Oklahoma. Tell me about that event.
Oh yes. So this was our first time playing that event. It's an annual, basically red dirt country concert, and it's 3 days. It goes Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and it's in Medicine Park. Which, if you're going to go to a place in Oklahoma, that is definitely one of the hidden treasures. It's the town is built around a river. You go swimming in the river. You know, there's food trucks. There's tons of restaurants and shops, and in this really small town. I mean, the town itself, I think, is maybe 4 blocks long, but on Roots Ball Day, and they have several other festivals. Basically, it just gets invaded by everyone in Southwest Oklahoma. It was a real good time. You know, it's just 3 full days of music. And it's hot as hell. It's outdoors, but we had a great time. And you know, we had friends playing it too, which was cool.
It sounds like a pretty eclectic mix of talent there. Tell me a bit about the music scene, where you're at there in Oklahoma.
Okay, so in South, we kind of have our own little music scene in Southwest Oklahoma. You know, we're not a big state, but we're divided by miles. I'll say that. I'll say it like that. I know a lot of folks from the East Coast and the Midwest are always surprised when they come here, because when you're driving around in the East Coast, the Midwest, it's kind of feels like you never leave one place. just kind of continues on. But out here in Oklahoma, it's everything's 20 miles from everything else. So out here in Southwestern, we have our own little music scene going on. And I've got some friends, Cade Roth and the Black Sheep. Y'all should check them out. Zach Crow Band, my buddy Kyle Brewer. We've just got our own little thing going on out here, and I like it. We're all close with each other, and it's cool.
Well, I like it. That's going to be a goal for 2022 here, the remainder of the year, is to get some more of those acts on, because I think there's a lot of great music going unnoticed throughout the country. We kind of get focused on some pockets around the country and,
Mm-hmm.
and overlook some really great stuff. So I'm looking forward to digging in more to what you guys got going on in that area. And we talked earlier about Texas. There's so much going on in Texas there. Tell me about your efforts to kind of break you into that scene.
So Texas, I've played primarily around northern Texas, because I always like to say Texas is its own country.
Yeah, it is.
It's big enough to be one. But I spent a lot of time in northern Texas, like Wichita Falls, and I think half of Zach Crow's band is from Wichita Falls. Played around there, then some other spots in the Panhandle, just kind of dipping my toes in the water, as things have gone on. But it's about to get I'm about to be spending a lot more time in Texas. At the end of June, I'll be going on tour. I had to dedicate a week just to the state. I'll be playing in Denton at Harvest House, and I'll be playing the Magnolia Motor Lounge in Fort Worth, which I'm really excited about, with a couple friends, Zach Welch and Billy Law, that are from that area. And then heading down south to around San Marcos at the Martindale River Cafe. So I'll be going all over Texas. I'm pretty excited about it.
I always like to joke you could do a world tour and never leave the state.
Yeah, that's about right. That's no joke.
And play to an appreciative crowd every time.
Yes, that is one thing I love about going to Texas, is they just love music there. They just love it. They don't care what kind it is. They just want to hear it.
Well, we appreciate the folks in Texas. That's one of our biggest fan bases. So howdy to y'all in Texas and Oklahoma too. I know you got the rivalry in athletics, but when it comes to music, I know people are happy to play both sides of the Red River, because it's just a great area for country music. I wanted to talk about the new album, the blog Saving Country Music, which is followed pretty heavily by folks who love traditional country music, have named your album Heartache Kid one of the most anticipated albums for the second half of 2022. I mean, we're talking about up there with Hank Williams Jr.
Wait, they did?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, is this breaking
I didn't
news?
know this.
Oh, well,
I didn't know this.
I'll send you the link when we get off, because you're pretty high cotton here. We're talking about Hank Williams Jr., Lyle Lovett, John Anderson, Hank the Fourth, Steve Earle, Wilco, and Turnpike Troubadour. So there's some really hefty stuff there, man. So to be named with that crop, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I didn't really thank you, Saving Country Trigger, Kyle, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what he wants to be called on here, but I appreciate it very much.
So that's just I think that's some pretty high praise. Tell me about Heartache Kid. Where did the title for this album come from?
It's actually a play on words, referring back to the Neil Simon play Heartbreak Kid.
Uh-huh.
And I kind of chose that because, well, I mean, as the lyrics of the song go, and the singer of sad songs break you down, make you want to cry. But more than anything, I wanted to keep a little bit of humor to the album. I didn't want things to be so serious. I'm a pretty jovial guy. I'm not. I may write sad songs, but I like to laugh and I like to joke around, and so I decided to kind of throw a little reference to that in there.
You referenced Neil Simon. Are you a theater guy? Do you have a background at all in theater?
I don't have a background in theater, but I absolutely love stage plays.
Uh-huh.
To me, I love stage plays more than films.
Uh-huh.
I think they're kind of the perfect form of acting art.
Uh-huh. Is that something you look to explore a little bit with your own creativity in terms of videos in the future?
I would absolutely love to. And actually, I've got an idea for a music video that we might be working on between this run that we're getting ready to go on, and then before we go to Texas.
Uh,
So we'll see how it plays out. I don't know. I'm no good with video production, so
well, that's what the other folks are for.
that's right. Can't be good at everything, and I don't want to be.
No, it's I think you got enough on your plate these days as it is, huh?
Yeah, I'd say so. I've just, it's just one of the. You just have to accept that some things you're not good with. My wife doesn't let me take pictures. That should tell you enough.
Now you spend a lot of time this summer touring, which means you're going to be spending a lot of time on the road. While you do, what are you listening to these days?
Oh, what I'm listening to? Right now, I am listening to guy Rosemond, a band Rosemond. We call him Sweet Rose of Texas. You can find him. He's on Twitter. He's absolutely hilarious. Um, Also listening to Zach Welch, which I told you I was going to be playing with. There's just so much good underground music. I'm a big fan of Ademi artist Will Payne Harrison. I got to throw his name out there. He's from Nashville. He's coming out with a record later this year, which he just got done doing the Kickstarter for. Successfully funded. I'm really excited about that record too.
Well, that brings up another point. We talk about these artists in Nashville so much and what they're doing to kind of get down there and scratch out a living while they're doing that. What does life look like for you in terms of trying to build a career and make ends meet and be able to fund doing what you love to do?
Um, it's 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 a lot of playing shows, which I love to do. Just trying to get out there and meet people. Also, the internet's a wonderful resource. I mean, more than it ever has been for independent artists. And I've been able to network with other guys like me, with people that like this kind of music. Just being able to network like that. But the other side to it is that you do have to get out on the road a lot, and you do have to get in front of people a lot and meet those connections face to face and build build that base one person at a time, which is fine by me. I may not get picked up by Big Machine Records or whoever's doing it now, but I'd much rather do it this way, I think.
Well, and it's good that you are finally able to get back out on the roads. I know so many artists were just kind of on the sidelines the last couple of years as everybody waited for the pandemic to kind of simmer down and lockdowns to end. What did that whole period look like for you at kind of the height of that, where you basically had to put things on hold?
That was a rough period. It was a little bit. I don't want to use the word fortunate. We'll say coincidental, because right before the pandemic hit, um, I had planned on, because I'd been hitting the road, beating it straight for 3 years. So I was ready for a kind of a break. So when the pandemic hit, it kind of forced me into that, um, which was, honestly hard on the wallet, but good on the spirit. And it allowed me to write this record. So, I'm very thankful for that. And, you know, it was a long 2 years, but things are changing, things are picking up. Live music's getting back to where it was. And, I'm just grateful for that.
Well, you bring up a good point. How do you sneak in moments for creating when you are keeping such a rigorous tour schedule? I was thinking about that when you were talking about trying to sneak in video making amongst all this touring. How do you find those times to steal away to be able to write or just to be able to strategize?
Um, I like to get up really early in the morning. um, I get up, probably about 6:30 every day, and I find some quiet time there, just in the morning. When the kids are getting ready for school or whatever it might be, and just take some of that time to get organized, focused, and sit on the porch and strum a guitar and see if anything comes to me.
Right.
I also do a lot of, you know, creativity, like lyrically or melodically, just driving down the road. That's one of the best places. I'll just drive down the road, turn the radio off for a little bit, and see what hits my brain.
How old are your kids?
I've got kids 7, 10, and 12.
What do they think about Dad, the musician?
They think I'm all right.
Yeah. Tough crowd, huh?
No, well, I will say, my 12-year-old um, just earlier told me she couldn't get one of my songs out of my head, so I'll take that.
Yeah, you got to take that where you can get it. Any of them showing any interest in gravitating toward music?
Well, my 12-year-old is supposed to be joining a band this next year. She's going to be in the
Oh,
percussion section.
awesome.
But my 7-year-old she's into
Oh,
dance right now. She loves it. And then my 10-year-old son is a hardcore gamer.
there you go. Something got funky there for a minute. We lost a little bit of your audio. It seems like we got it now.
Does it sound all right?
Yeah, you're good now.
Okay.
Yeah, you were talking about. I didn't want anybody to miss it. Your middle daughter. Yeah, I think you said something about dance.
Oh yes, my youngest daughter does dance, ballet. She loves it. And then my middle child, my son, he's a gamer, hardcore gamer.
So you don't have any issues about wondering where he is, do you?
No, he's actually right. I know right now he's at home in his bedroom playing. He just got a subscription to some old school Nintendo games. So.
You know, I saw somebody posting something about that online, and with the all the hype over this new Top Gun movie, I saw somebody sharing about the old Nintendo Top Gun game.
Oh, Top Gun Second Mission is one of my favorites.
Wow, that's some old school stuff there.
I played that for hours and hours when I was a kid.
Same here, man. Good stuff. It's funny you mentioned that. As I was going through the airport here a few weeks ago here in Louisville, I saw a kid wearing a hoodie. You know, I see travel airports all over the country, and you see folks wearing you see ball teams and stuff going through the airports and wearing sweatshirts and all this with their school logo on. This guy had a shirt on that was University of Louisville Esports. So
yes.
I mean, this is the deal now. There's full rides for being good at that stuff.
I know it's a new age, and you know, I keep telling my son, you know, that would be an absolutely perfect route for him to go, you know, extracurricular in school.
Absolutely. Well, it's fun that they have that and can channel their energy that way. That's cool stuff.
Whatever we can do to channel it in a positive direction.
Absolutely right. Well, I tell you what, man, we've been talking about this album and man, just how well done it is. Before we get out of here this week, will you share another song with us?
Yeah, sure. I'd love to. A second. I have absolutely no idea which one I'm going to pick until I do. That's usually how my acoustic shows run. Let's see. Let's do we'll do the last track. It's a solo acoustic track that seems fitting. This song is called Salt Fork.
I would sink myself to the bottom of the salt fork for you. It dried up 20 years ago as rivers round here don't want to do. Spend their whole lives carving out a little piece of land. Just to end up a bed of rock and a blanket of sand. I can't get back on loving you. yourself in the path of a tornado meant a damn to you. They all disappeared, so in season now. The cotton's in full blown. And I can't get by on loving you. No, I can't get by on loving you. On loving you.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing that with us. There we are.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yep, gotcha. Can you hear me?
Oh, I think we got an issue. Hold on a second.
Uh-oh. As we say every week, live without a net.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Can you hear me?
I got you. Can you hear me? Hello. Hello, hello.
There we go.
There we go.
Sorry about that, folks. I think something was going on with my phone.
Technical difficulties, but we're back here, and another great song here from Matt Moran, and that album, Heartache Kid, is out now. Just dropped last week. You got a busy summer lined up here to promote it. Tell us a bit about what you got going on and how folks can follow along.
All right. Well, it's going to be about 40 dates, 40-date tour I'm going on this summer. First up, we're traveling over to California, up to Seattle, and then back around. Then Texas at the end of June, and then in July we'll be going over through your territory. We'll be coming through the Midwest up to New York City and back to Oklahoma, and then in August we'll be going out to South Carolina and back. And the best way to find tour dates, if you feel like coming out to see a show, is going to be my website, mattmoranmusic.com. It's got all the tour dates listed there. I'm adding new ones every day. And that's where you can find all the info and tickets and stuff like that.
Literally hitting just about every part of the country.
I'm trying to, though. I've got a couple people mad at me. I couldn't make it to Montana. I'm sorry, Montana.
They'll have to make the drive over to Washington or something.
Yeah, maybe they can hit Boise. I'll be in Boise.
There you go. Well, that's a pretty good compromise. That's quite a haul. Your summer is going to be spoken for, but man, you're going to be treating people to a lot of great music. Tell me about some of the long-term goals that you have for the business.
I'd say I try not to. Man, that's a good question. I think my long-term goal is to just be able to keep making music, scrounge out a living doing it, provide people with something to listen to that maybe hits them in the right way. I'm just glad to be able to do what I do. I like to say every day I keep my gratitude higher than my expectations is a good day.
You're spending so much time on the road now that you're able to get back out to it. But when you do get a chance to slip away for a while, what do you like to do away from music?
Away from music, man.
Is there an away from music?
Is there a thing that can you get away from music? No, I'd love to. I just love hanging out with my family. I took my just earlier today. I took my kids to the pool before I left, and just hang out with the family.
I love it, man. That's what it's all about. Well, again, mattmoranmusic.com, the place to find all of it. And as far as socials goes, you're pretty much everywhere there too.
Yep. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, wherever you want to find me. And I'm they're not advertising platforms for me. I like to get on there and connect with people, and that's what I use it for. I'm not there to blast ads in your face.
Yeah.
Get on there, add me, talk to me. Let's have a conversation.
There you go. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention, we talked about you being from Oklahoma, but you're tied to agriculture. Your father's a butcher.
Yes, he's a butcher. He's been a butcher as long as I've been alive. He knows the business better than anyone I've ever met. I get a lot of my business sense from him. I'll tell you that.
Well, I would imagine he was doing. Is he still in the business?
Yes, he is still in the business. He's running a place over in Sayre, Oklahoma. So anyone who need meat or beef in Western Oklahoma, he's the man to go to.
Has he been like everybody else? It's been just crazy busy since the pandemic, and more people started going that route for their meat.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's excellent. Well, if you're in that area, make sure you go and look him up. And if he's coming to your town, make sure you get on that website, mattmoranmusic.com, and make sure you go check him out wherever he's coming. He's going to be in my neighborhood here in July, and I fully intend to be out there checking that show out for the folks in the Louisville, Kentucky area. That's Air Devils, the legendary Air Devils Inn on Bardstown Road. He's going to be there July 23rd, I believe it is. So.
Yes, July 23rd. I'm pretty excited about it.
We're going to try to go make a day of it there for that. And Matt, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. It's probably about 8,000 degrees in that car there in the Oklahoma heat by now, isn't it?
Actually, we got a storm rolling through right now, so it's not too bad.
Okay, good. Well, thank you.
It would have been earlier today.
Thank you for sticking it out with us here. We'll let you go before they got to call 911 on you here, but.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you so much for having me on.
I appreciate you. You're welcome to come back anytime you want to share new music or just hang out.
Oh, don't threaten me with a good time.
Absolutely. And we're going to threaten everybody else with the same thing. I hope you come back again and join us here. I want to thank you so much for joining us this week. We're going to be adding more of these country music and agriculture related live streams throughout the summer. So hope you follow us for those. The best way to find out about them is follow us on socials. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Also TikTok, active on all those. So make sure you go follow us on all those and make sure you tell all your friends about it too, so we can keep building out this audience. We'd also be honored if you'd subscribe to the Tractors and Troubadours podcast. Each week I bring you agriculture industry newsmakers, hot button industry issues, some educational features, and the best in traditional country music. The Tractors and Troubadours podcast can be found at Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Deezer, Audible, Odyssey, and the new Samsung Free app. A lot of great places to get that content. So pretty much anywhere you're going, anywhere you're streaming, we're there. So I hope you take us with you, because it's in all those same places that you'll find our other new podcast, Ag Women Strong with Lori Boyer. On each episode, Lori features another woman making a significant impact in agriculture. And so I hope you go follow that. Subscribe to Ag Women Strong with Lori Boyer. And follow us on the socials for a new drop. Every other Wednesday, we drop a new episode of that. So I hope you go and listen to that. And finally, the place to find all of this great content is our website, ruralstrongmedia.com. There you're going to find Tractors and Troubadours and Ag Women Strong, as well as these live streams. Also, some ag news, some educational blogs, and our 24/7 internet radio station, Rural Strong Radio, playing the best in traditional country music and our original ag programming. You're going to find your George Jones there. You're going to find your Dwight Yoakam there. We got all the good stuff on there. We'll even sneak some Matt Moran on there and try to curate some music from some of his buddies out that way too. So you can listen to that, and we hope you'll take us wherever you go this summer. Well, we want to say a special thank you to our sponsors, Concept Agritech, Gateway Seed, and GoatLifeClothing.com. Well, friends and neighbors, the clock on the wall tells us it's time to get on out of here. So for Matt Moran, it's Brent Adams. Come join us again next week, won't you? And hey, bring along a friend.